go back a little bit to ask the actors and singers a little bit about your experiences with your agents, your managers, vocal contractors. Have you had any challenges when you either became a new parent or when things come up? Just love to hear a little bit about that.
Sure. So two things I just wanted to say. I do a lot of voiceover, and when I was pregnant with my now 10-year-old, I told I was the voice of Vaughn's for 2 pregnancies, knock on wood. 18 spots a week for 2.5 years. It was amazing. And I would record every week, because you need to know that Rancher's Reserve ribeye roast is $5.99 a pound. And I would record every week, but when you're pregnant and you're about to have a baby, you know, my agent said, do you want to just skip that week in December? And I just looked at him, I'm like, if I can talk, I will record, because the minute they get the other girl to do my job for a week, they might love her, and I can't, like, afford that to happen. So I had a baby, and the next day I recorded 18 spots for Vaughn's. Thank you. But on the flip side of that, I would say, I don't know, you know, the actors here, the women, thanks, I love this girl. She's like my new pal. On the flip side of that, theatrically, my advice, I guess, for women who are yet to have maybe another baby, if you're an actress, my advice is to maybe not mention it until you're showing, because if you can work, then saying that you're pregnant when you're not showing for 3 months, and now you have 3 months where you didn't get to go out or whatever. So there's a balance in that. Everyone has to do their own thing, but I was very adamant with my voiceover agents, like, no, I will absolutely work. And with theatrical, as I got more and more showing, obviously, you know, you had to take a bit of a break. But it's also about being nice to yourself during the times where you your entire body is changing and you come back to it and all that. So it's like a longer conversation, but I'll leave it at that.
Perfect segue for you, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm always showing, so yes. I think that it's a two-edged sword at being a parent. I think the technology now is that you can do voiceovers and all that kind of stuff from home. In fact, I have a little Rode rig that I'm always have with me. Anything comes down, I can record, I can audition day or night around the globe. But when you're home and your kids need you, they don't always understand the door's closed because you're under a deadline. So I've had to learn to, Alvin, this kid's gonna be 8, 1 more month. And at some point he's gonna stop asking you to play catch with him. Hit pause on this thing, go outside and play catch and disconnect from that. So being ever present as a parent is important. You know, The Cat in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon, that's the world's saddest song. You can quickly become that person, you know, because your career is so important to you, but they need you for another role. They need their dad, they need their mom. So be able to balance that in your mind, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Spend the time.
Absolutely. One of the jobs that I do is I work with all of the boys whom everybody wants to throw away. I work with 14 to 18-year-old boys who've murdered and raped and pillaged, who are locked up in the Los Angeles County Probation Department. They're called probation camps. Don't kid yourself, they're kid prisons. And I teach improv, and we do shows around town, and it's called Locked Up in Malibu because there are 19 probation camps in Los Angeles County, and 3 are deep in the heart of the mountains of Malibu. They're like 65-year-old fire camps. And one of the things, to your point, Alvin, one of the things, I'm so glad to see dads here, because one of the things I've learned in the 25 years of working with these little angels with dirty faces, and these are the children who are the lieutenants of the drug lords of Los Angeles. These kids have crystal meth labs. These kids are heroin addicts, okay? And one of the things I've learned to stop asking them is how many of them would ever consider being a dad. And they look at me like, why don't you clean out your crack pipe? I am a dad. I'm like, right, okay, sorry, I'm white, I'm stupid, okay. So So I've changed the question over a generation of working with these kids, and I say, so what are you going to do to keep your kid from coming on the inside of this razor wire? And no matter how they answer it, to your point about playing catch, put down the recording equipment, he's not going to, the cat in the cradle, oh my God, you're right, that song makes me drop to my knee. I mean, even when I first heard it, before I was ever a mom, they're describing you two. They're describing good dads because they have plenty of moms. They have plenty of aunties, as they call them. They have plenty, and in fact, if I'm really bugged at them, if I say, I'm going to talk to your probation officer, they're like, pfft. I'm going to talk to your judge. Pfft. I'm going to talk to your mom. Pfft. I'm going to talk to your dad. Go find him. Whether he's physically on the planet or just emotionally absent. However, I will tell you, one of the things I've learned is to say, I'm going to talk to your grandma. They're like, what do you want? The grandmothers rule these gangs. And so it's so important. Part of the dismantling, I think, of the American family in particular, or the Western family, is about a lack of good, strong dads. And I'm just so grateful that you guys are up here on this stage. Truly. There's going to come a time when you're going to go, they don't want to play a board game with me right now. It will come, and so God bless you for saying that. It's so, so important. And to the point about agents and managers, I will tell you that I got a role in a series and had it knocked down, drag out, to get it into my contract to be able to take care to breastfeed on demand. And this was 30 years ago. And it was a deal breaker. And I said, then I'll lose the role. And what was great was that my agent went to the mat for me on it. And we got that. And to hear you talk about this center, it's like, I want to go there right now. Do they also give massages for mothers? I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? If we could have had this, holy tamale. Can we do that? Can we put that in? I mean, I would carry... Yeah, my son's father is an American Indian who practices the old medicines by many people's ways of speaking. He would be what people call a medicine man. They hate that term. They call themselves interpreters. But I would carry my son in on an Indian blanket and put him under the desks of most casting directors. And they would watch him while I would. I mean, this is how long ago this was, and they were great and very, very protective. But it was the beginning of people bringing their children places. God love you. I just think it's so important, show this baby the world, and take her with you where you do this. We were, my mother had come from St. Louis, and we were exiting off of the 10 freeway on La Cienega, and my son said, this might resonate with some of you, oh, is this the Sheila Manning exit? Because Sheila Manning was the casting director who lived. And my mother said, oh my God, is this like a restaurant? Why does my son know what my grandson know what this exit? I said, no, Mom, this is casting director, because he knew that this was, and she had a drawer full of toys for him. So, there are great people in this business who will honor you as a parent, and find them, and especially get that relationship with your agent to help you through this time. I know the whole agent thing is a whole thing, but when you get that, it makes all the difference in the world.